Hey guys, what's going on? Flooz, we're at work, working a little bit late tonight. I've got a classic example of what you should never do in video, which is really have a really bright light source in the background. So I apologize about that. Remember to look at the green light. So what's new? I had a couple things I threw in that description of what's going on. First of all, I'd like to dedicate this episode to Mary's Almond Crunch, or Mrs. May Almond Crunch. Really yummy treats they have here for work. It's good. This will inject about 4 grams of protein into my brain, 8 grams total with 2 servings, and that's what I need right now to get done with this edit. Working on a new video for the research folks here, and it's really pretty much a presentation. In fact, you could have built it all in Keynote and crammed in a couple video clips and have at it, but we're doing it in Motion at the moment. Motion allows us to do some cool things moving on the screen or whatnot, but we're, you know what I'm saying. Some people have asked me my opinion about iMovie 08, and I had to admit I've only played with it a couple times, and it looks pretty slick, but it's like a whole new way of doing things. I think the real power of that tool is getting to know the keyboard shortcuts, perhaps, and of course the biggest upside is the audio that's kind of missing, or the audio ability. And I think a lot of times people miss a timeline. A timeline kind of calms me down because I know that I can drop things in and get to work. So so you're alarmed right away. So you're kind of freaked out, and then you gotta go from there. But yeah, I really haven't played with it too much. I've actually created some videos recently in Keynote, just messing around in that. Never really messed around with Keynote before, but kind of found a way to do some of my kind of like what kind of music I'm listening to type shows on it, which has been cool. On the web scene, I haven't been Operator 11 lately, which is that this time got sucked out of me. I've been doing a lot of development, actually. I'm working on about 3 different projects here at work. One is a Ruby on Rails project where we're creating kind of a new survey tool. And that's pretty good because a couple things. I mean, we're using Basecamp to kind of follow with the programmers and what they're doing. We're using Google Spreadsheets to kind of keep up with current agenda, things to fix, new ideas, that kind of stuff. So I'm really digging all these different kind of collaboration methods that exist on the web. So what's really weird is I feel like I'm using them all to as much extent as I can, and then there's folks at work who really aren't, so I need to kind of integrate them more into what's possible. But a lot of times I'm kind of like the how guy. I find all kinds of great ways to do how to do things, but I don't necessarily facilitate the reason why they would do it. So I guess for a lot of people that they just got to figure out whether or not they really can use it. If you can use it, that's great, but if you can't, it's kind of like technology that has no purpose for you. So other things I'm working on an RFID project. RFID is a scary scene on the web in general. I mean, right now there's like the high-end RFID guys doing really amazing RFID things that are like really expensive and are hanging out at Walmart and whatnot. And then you go all the way down to hanging out with Billy Bob and his, tool shed, and he's doing something with RFID. And there's really no documentation online for it. At least not a lot. I mean, there's not a lot of like tight-knit communities. There's no like successful tutorials or here's how to make X and here's how to make Y. Now I did buy the RFID toys book, but that is really still geared at an electronic engineer or somebody who's really savvy with soldering and all that. And to me, there's levels of geeks. There's the interested kind of geek, there's the I'm more in tune with things geek, and then there's the I'm addictedly, fantastic about things geek, and then there's the I'm technical geek, academic geek, soldering geek, soldering wiring geek, soldering wiring, I'll run cable through your house geek. I mean, I'm one of the geeks that doesn't like the idea of wiring things and soldering things. I'm the same geek that doesn't know really how to program, but it doesn't mean I'm not all the other geeks. I'm the video arts geek who can make shows and stuff and sketch out things on a napkin. So yeah, the RFID scene is just a little crazy, I think, right now. It's not nice. So I went out and we got one of those fidget kits, fidgets, PHIDGETS, and so we bought the RFID reader, and the idea is to create stimulus that we'll use in research, we'll use in the field. So when I give somebody, here, when I say I give somebody something like this, and I say, what does this mean to you in the context of your ideal washer? Yeah, someone would go like, oh, well, I like these riveted holes on the side. That's pretty cool. That kind of shows me the inside of the washer. That would be kind of cool. And I like the feel of the black plastic. I would almost like more of a ceramic feel. So yeah, people talk about this object in all kinds of different ways to explain something in research. It helps them facilitate their expression. And then at the end of the project, you tell the client, here's what happened. We talked to them. We did all these things. And a lot of times, all these little objects kind of hang out in like a bucket. The designers can go and look at them per se, but there's no connection to the actual objects other than to flip through the report. Well, the idea is to make all these objects smart, so that you wave them over a table or something like that, and a screen pops up with all the information about them. That's our big skinny on that. It's happening. Made it happen. It's pretty easy to do. It's just you got to get a coder around it and figure out, and you have to invent software. And it's kind of a DIY market on RFID. Go figure it out and then have fun. So we have to spend some money there. And then once you start playing around with RFID, you start realizing lots of other things you could do. You could make a smart table. You could make a smart door. You could make all kinds of different things. You start playing around with different ways to facilitate expression with participants in research that then could be quickly analyzed, because that's the end goal. Is like, yeah, I want this object to be more data friendly, but it'd be really great if I can have this object more data friendly, and it's really friendly with the canvas that people create a picture on, and then on the back end of that canvas, there's data that goes right into the database, and no one ever has to sit down and interpret things by hand. The whole computer's smart. And that was kind of hard to understand, but it's good stuff. The third project working on location-based awareness. I've had so many ideas in the location-based awareness scene, and lately I've been eyeing the iPhone and thinking about developing a Ruby on Rails app that would work on the phone, with essentially being a browser. But the idea is to serve up locations to you that are interested, that are attributes of your profile. So if my profile is all about, I like jungle music, I like patios, and I like draft beer, and I love wings, those are all parts of my profile. And the idea is that I could, look at the site and say, hey, I'm in X part of town, and go find something that appeals to my interest. And yeah, you could say everybody and their mother is probably working on that. That's probably true. We know everybody is. And there's probably services out there that are like that per se. What makes mine different, or idea different? Well, I think one big thing, and I've been thinking about this lately, is I don't like the idea that a lot of Web 2.0 and different technologies, I have to drill down. I'm going to drill down to this interesting. I mean, YouTube didn't ask me to make a video today. I had to get on there and drill down, bam, go ahead. And so much of the technology of the web and everything is me forcing my way into the system to get my voice out, to be heard. It'd be nice if something would push back out to me, besides spam. If you think about it, spam is probably the only thing, spam or somebody else's email to you is the only thing that comes to you that you maybe didn't think about, or someone can phone call you or something like that. But the idea is to kind of create a presence online that knows you and maybe knows your habits, and then it knows when you might be susceptible to suggestion. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, right now at 6:44 p.m. it could be pestering me on IM, or pestering me on my phone, or text message or something like, dude, you got to go get happy hour. Because it knows that my day usually ends right around 6:30. And you think those might be like real subtle triggers, like you could totally make that in like alerts or scheduled recordings or whatnot. But I don't want it to be that structured. I want it to be a smart AI that just knows my basic parameters, knows my basic habits. If you think about it,